So you're wanting to live in northern Colorado, but Fort Collins is just not your jam. Greeley's a little bit too far west, and Loveland, well, it just doesn't float your boat. And you like that small town community feel close to Fort Collins and Greeley, but maybe just a little bit more laid back, maybe a little bit more affordable. Well, Windsor, Colorado may be the place for you. What's up, everybody? This is Patrick Soukup with Soukup Real Estate Services here in Fort Collins, Colorado, coming at you today about living in Windsor, Colorado. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If what you're looking at learning is everything Northern Colorado, specifically Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, Windsor, Timnath, Severance, all the above. And if at the end of the video you've enjoyed the content, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, engage, interact. And as much as we like making these videos for YouTube, we like more working with buyers, sellers, and investors for all their real estate needs here in Northern Colorado and Windsor, Colorado. So feel free to give me a call, text, or email if you're looking at buying, selling, or investing here in Northern Colorado and Windsor. Without any further delay, let's jump into today's video, living in Windsor, Colorado. Enjoy. Man, growing up in Fort Collins, there just wasn't a lot of reason to go to Windsor. Yeah, sure, we'd play basketball against their one high school, one middle school, the Windsor Wizards. But other than that, maybe we'd have a friend or family member live out there for a little bit. So you'd have to go out and trek out to Windsor and go see what's going on. But you wouldn't spend too much time there because there wasn't much to do. And although that not necessarily hasn't changed a ton as far as entertainment options, Windsor, Colorado has come a long way since its origination in the late 1800s, where it was really just a halfway stopping point between Fort Collins and Greeley for a railroad, and with its origins in sugar beets and wheats and the mill, which now has been recreated to the Mill restaurant. But it's come a long way and really extremely fast in the last 10 years. The census in 2010 was about 18,000 people, and Windsor is probably close to, if not exceeds, 30,000 people today. Probably a little bit under, but it will exceed 30,000 people very quickly. So in the last 10 years, a 50% increase in growth over its over 100-year history. And a lot of that is residential development. The commercial side of things, the employment opportunities. Eastman Kodak was here at one point in Windsor, and you'll see kind of remnants in Eastman Park, Eastman Kodak, but clearly Kodak is, with what I'm shooting on today and what's sitting in my pocket, not necessarily needed nearly as much as it was even just 10 years ago. So unfortunately, Kodak, that employment base has gone away. And it's a little bit scary too with Vestas, which is a wind turbine manufacturer for the wind blades, the fin blades, and is a major employer in Windsor, Colorado. And I just don't know, are wind turbines gonna get better, gonna continue to grow? Who knows? So that's kind of another vulnerable employment option in Windsor, Colorado. So really, it's just a bedroom community growing all over the place, to the north, close to Timnath, south, moving towards Johnstown, east towards Severance, and west towards Fort Collins. But it is growing from the heart of Windsor out. And one of the cooler developments, I had a chance to walk around yesterday, is Raindance. This thing is massive. Over 6 builders working there, and a great, huge community pool, walking areas, restaurants, shopping are all gonna be in kind of this enclosed community. And that's just to the southwest of Windsor, and will be a huge benefit to Windsor and people that are looking at moving there. In fact, we actually have a client that's under contract at Raindance, so we're very excited about that area and Windsor in general. But from there, really, again, it's a bedroom community. There's one high school, and one middle school, the Windsor Wizards. And other than, the Windsor Mill and Hearth, as far as food options, you're really gonna make your way to Fort Collins for all of your amenities. Shopping, hardware stores, all that good stuff. And the fortunate thing is Fort Collins is just 15 to 20 minutes away depending on which route you take. So Windsor being so close is that desirable. It's always, or it's currently been for the last 10 years, not necessarily anymore, but for the last 10 years, it's been this affordable option to Fort Collins. We bought a new build with my sister there a few years back, and it was probably about a 10% premium to live in Fort Collins versus Windsor. So for my sister, they were able to sell their condo and buy a new single family for right under $320,000. That same house today is probably gonna go for $420,000, maybe $430,000, and have tons of demand. So the premium today to buy in Windsor versus Fort Collins is probably only about 5%. So it isn't necessarily that much of an affordable option as it used to be. Now, expectations come when you aren't necessarily that affordable option. Wellington, for example, now again, it's still getting more and more expensive in Wellington, but it too is just this bedroom community to the north of Fort Collins. But Windsor, because of its price point and not necessarily its affordability option anymore, well, you better have some entertainment options to lure you into that area, which you are getting. The Summit is this really enjoyable bowling alley, laser tag, food, bar area where we go probably spend, 2 or 3 times a year there. But people will go on, every weekend, play arcade games, go bowl, laser tag. And then the Power to Play is just to the north of that, where it's a state-of-the-art facility for basketball and volleyball, and massive parks with Eastman Park and others that are building there. There's considered a proposed baseball facility that will rival the best in the nation, which will bring teams from across the country. Budweiser Event Center, the Colorado Eagles, a semi-pro hockey team, and then you'll have Cirque du Soleil there and comedians and other options that are just right out your back door in Windsor, along with 2 golf courses, the Windsor Lake, which I've got video of on a Monday afternoon. You go and you see there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's 100+ people just sitting there enjoying themselves. You can walk around the lake. Actually, my uncle who has MS, we do the MS walk on an annual basis, and it's about a 45-minute walk around the lake, but it's beautiful, it's enjoyable, and you have phenomenal views of the mountains. That is absolutely one thing you do not give up if you go to Windsor to live, is you actually might have better views of the mountains than you would in Fort Collins, because there's just this distance that you have between, and you're not just so on top of the mountains that you can't really see everything. But in Windsor, man, you've got this phenomenal panoramic view. And so the entertainment options are coming to Windsor, which allows you to pay a little bit more than you have in the past, because it used to be just purely this bedroom community. It still is that, but eventually we'll have this really cool sub area of Fort Collins known as Windsor, and Windsor having its own identity with lots of different options and entertainment for the folks that live there, specifically the younger families. And that really, to me, is what I see Windsor as right now, is it's this younger family, anywhere from 1 kid to 10 kids and 1-year-old to 18 years old. It's this smaller, tighter knit community that has allowed folks to buy a home more affordable price than they would in Fort Collins. So there is this big grouping of young families in Windsor, Colorado. And yes, it's not specific to any age range. There could be empty nesters, single folks, whatever, all are welcome in Windsor, but that's what I'm seeing, is this great option for families, which the Windsor Recreation, again, puts on great options for families to go do sports, soccer, basketball, baseball, you name it, and you're gonna have some options there in Windsor and not have to travel to Fort Collins. So with a median price point of about $505,000 as of April 2021, roughly about 30,000 people, just about 15 to 25 minutes outside of Fort Collins, depending on where you live. And again, 45 to 60 minutes to Denver. East of I-25, a little bit sitting in Larimer County, the majority of it sitting in Weld County. Phenomenal mountain views. Entertainment options are growing. Not a huge employment center, but that's what you've got in Windsor, Colorado. It's a great little community, growing like crazy, where if you're looking at Northern Colorado and want that small town vibe while still being so close to the major metro amenities that Fort Collins and Denver has to offer you, definitely check out Windsor, Colorado. All right, guys, again, as much as we like making these videos for YouTube, for real estate and all Northern Colorado things, we like more working with buyers, sellers, and investors. And we're working with tons of them all over the country. It's amazing. Florida, Chicago, Boston, California, Missouri, Iowa, you name it, we're working with them, helping them transition to Northern Colorado. It's the place to be. People wanna be here. So if you're looking at making that transition or selling, hey, listen, it's a great time to sell. Or, investing. Might be a little bit tougher these days, but long-term, Northern Colorado, I've got all my money on it. So reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text or email. I've got your back when it comes to buying or everything that you need in real estate here in Northern Colorado. Until next time, guys, take care.